This is Takima. I am the owner of Fitvational Yoga, where all body and minds are welcome here in this space. So I'm doing something new. It's been in my heart, and bear with me because this is gonna be. I'm creating a series. All anybody is welcome. It's been laid on my heart that I want to take this yoga practice to a whole nother level, right? I want people to really dive in not only the purpose and the reason why they're incorporating yoga in their everyday lifestyles, but how are you using the yoga? How are you using the tools that's given and provided in yoga to adapt it to your everyday lifestyle? Are you actually doing the self work and the healing work that yoga teaches to dive deeper into self? Are you truly doing the work on yourself? Or are you just doing yoga for the physical attributes that it gives? If you are, that's totally fine. But for me, yoga is a practice, it's something deeper than that. Only reason why I say that because when I first discovered yoga, so first and foremost, I'm going to be filming this, no edits or anything like that, because what I realize is I'm a perfectionist, y'all. I'm a perfectionist, and that's a lot of times why it takes me forever to upload a video because, you just want to put out something that's perfect. Again, that's when I have to look deeper into self because I'm like, is it perfect for me or perfect for the world? If I continue to operate in life trying to please others, I won't get nowhere. So just because it may not be perfect for me, whatever I'm sharing, or I'm getting off a little topic, but I just wanted to say that whatever I'm sharing or creating, I got to get out of my head, put it out there, because just what I'm doing, it may not be perfect for me, but it's probably perfect for somebody else. Somebody probably think like, oh my gosh, she did that. Oh my gosh, she, said that, and that's what I needed. So we really got to get out of our own way in our own head about certain stuff. So anyway, I wanted to create this series called Taking Up Space because I am just a firm believer that one, we cannot be so quick to join other people's spaces. And a lot of times people don't want us in their space. We may not fit their criteria in order to be in their space, whether it's from physical looks, mental, your emotional being, whatever that may look like. A lot of times they won't include people like myself in their space. So this is what I did. I took it upon myself to make my own space and to take it up. And I want to be that influence and encourage other people. Don't be so quick to join other people's spaces. Create your own space and take it up. Or make a big enough space for anybody to come and join in. And that's what I want, because I want to be that influence that if I did it and created space for you, I want you to pass that along. Create space, allow people to come in, be themselves, be vulnerable, be comfortable, be able, so they're willing to share, they're willing to pour out. And then we just keep it going. We're creating space for other people to take up, for us to fill up, and just to keep the train going. So the series is called Taking Up Space. And I'm just going to be talking about, just self, the journey of healing, all the things that come with healing, the good, the bad, the ugly, the raw, all of that stuff, because people don't want to talk about it. People want to talk about, oh, I'm in this soft girl life, soft girl era, and things like that. But what does that truly look like? And that's another thing we'll get into later on, because this soft girl era mess is like, I think it's ridiculous. I really do. Just because one is social media trending this soft girl era. You know what era comes with an end, right? It comes with an end. So it's like, all right, so once you're past this soft girl era, you want to be in your whatever that looks like for you. So then when that era comes to a close, what does that look like for you? So anyway, so yeah, I wanted to create this space for us to talk about different topics and things of that nature. And honestly, I don't know where this can go. Like, I don't know where this will take me. I hope that what I share and what I share in this space can definitely make an impact, not only for myself, because I think this is something that I need to do for myself, but I just want to make an impact for somebody else. And just because if I could touch one person and what I share on my experience, if they can impact that one person, I did my job. So I am definitely using this space for this, and I thank you so much for tuning in and watching. So pray with me, pray for me, all of that good stuff, right? So I first want to start this taking up space series. We're gonna open up to some words of affirmation, words of positivity, words that should resonate with our spirit, right? So I use these cards. So I do follow the chakras. Now, of course, people hear like chakras, and again, let me tell y'all something, right? So I'm a believer. I believe in God. And a lot of times with the church, they hear these certain things like, oh, chakras, oh, crystals, and things like that. Now, I'm not judging nobody. The way you get your spiritual connection to wherever your higher source is, to yourself, that's what you practice. But for me, my higher source is God. I believe in Jesus Christ. But at the same time, I do follow chakras. Chakras is based on scientific facts. So you can't be so caught up in the religion aspect of the spiritual lifestyle. And meaning religion is you're doing something like ritual, you're doing something repetitive. That's religion. You believe in a certain thing, like it's some religions that believe women should always have their hair covered because it preserves their womanhood or something like that, or whatever they may look like. Some religions believe women shouldn't wear red lipstick to church, like, stuff like that. So for me, I don't get caught up in religion. I'm more spiritual. So I do follow the 7 chakras, and what our words of affirmation will be based on. I have these flashcards, and I love them because, again, when I don't have the words, because a lot of times we don't have the words to say. We don't have a lot of times we don't have the words to encourage our own selves. So therefore, a lot of times we'll go to social media. We'll lean on people that's able to pour into us. But a lot of times we need to seek our own resources in order to encourage ourselves, because at the end of the day, it comes back to self, right? So we're going to start with this words of affirmation, and then let's meditate on that for a few minutes. And I have again, we're basing it on the 7 chakras, right? So child, the 7th chakra, right? This crown chakra, this here, oh God, this mind. This crown chakra is our mind. This here is the central station of how our body functions in our day-to-day. So if this ain't all the way together, or you're not working to get that healed in certain parts of your mental healed, how are you going to fully show up to your best self in life, right? So this one is meditation and silence, crown chakra. So I'm going to read this. And I want this to resonate with you as it's resonating with me. So we're both reading this actually for the first time. And again, also, these are called chakra wisdom cards. I got them from Five Below a while ago. I don't know if they still have them. But again, if you want to research around what the 7 chakras mean scientifically, because like I said, again, it's scientific. It's not... Chakras has nothing to do with any type of religion, any type of spiritual practice. A lot of what I should say, I wouldn't say religions, but a lot of spiritual practices per se, they do follow the 7 chakras as part of their religion aspect. But just for me, I dive deeper into it because it's more scientific and it just makes sense. It just makes sense. So this one is the 7th chakra, crown chakra, this here. I sit still in meditation regularly as I know there is power in silence. I seek out stillness during some part of every day. In the silence, I am open to receive without asking and without expectation. In the silence, I will hear and see the truth. Rest, tranquility, and peace are rejuvenating to my spirit. Miraculous emotional, mental, and physical healing are available when I am open to receive. Now, let's meditate on that. Meditation and silence. A lot of times we are afraid to spend time with ourselves. That was me at one point. That was me at one point that I was just so annoyed with myself that I couldn't spend time with myself. So it's like, what that look like, Chemo? What does that look like? Okay, I'll tell you. Spending time with yourself could be like what we're doing right now. We're just sitting here, you're listening to me, speaking your heart space, speaking to your ear. But if I wasn't doing this, I'll just be sitting. I'm creating a space. Like, I create space for God to speak to my heart. Now, a lot of times I create space for myself, not for God to speak to me. God will just show up whenever he wants, but it's also a time for me to spend with myself. That's time I'm emotional. That's the time I'm probably bawling my eyes out. I'm cursing. I'm just letting out whatever I'm feeling. I am dumping it. And I'm filling up that space right there. Whatever thoughts that's resonating in my head, I am leaving it out there. And I am going to meditate and try to drop inklets of positivity. Allow God to just come in my head and speak to me against those negative thoughts or whatever that looks like. So when you sit in meditation and you sit in stillness, when you sit in stillness, you just see, I feel like you just have more, it forces you not only to spend time with yourself, but to just be more open to what's around you. The very things that will allow to get us off our track. Say, for instance, like, if I could be transparent, like a financial, like, let me tell you something. One thing about me, money make my world go round. I am attached to money. I am. And that's something I had to be honest with myself about. Now, what I am doing while I'm meditating and sitting in a space of silence. So say if something comes up like, all right, let's talk about it. Student loans. Like, student loan, Joe, you ain't doing your job, Joe. You're not doing your job. So a lot of myself and I'm sure millions of others are in a similar, they can relate to that thing. And a lot of times these financial situations or financial setbacks could really play on our mental space, especially someone like me, because I am attached to money. I can't function without it. I feel like that's me only because it stems from past stuff, like past history and things like that, that I went through. So I am in the headspace of like, I can't go through that. I can't suffer. I don't want to suffer. I don't want to go through that. I know what it feels like. So I'm going to make sure I am intentional about certain stuff. But here's the thing about that. Everything ain't going to go according to your plan. Right, and I am a control freak. So whenever something is beyond my control, it plays on my headspace. It plays on my mental. So what I'm doing, I have to force myself to get into a place of meditation, a place of prayer, and be like, okay, let me get out these feelings. This is not going to take me out. So I'm actually forcing myself to encourage myself. And this is also too, if you have that village of people that's able to pour into you, that's able to give you resources and things like that, you do that. But a lot of times people are not going to be there to save you all the time. They're not. So you have to be in a place to be able to speak and to encourage yourself, to hold yourself accountable. And that's all a part of the healing. It's ugly. It's ugly as hell when you are healing. It is, and then that's the thing. I want people to talk about that more. The emotions and the thoughts that you go through, and you are probably experiencing certain feelings and things like that. that you never experienced before. So it's a thing like I asked someone this the other day too, and it's funny because I was like, how do you ask for help? How do you ask for help? How? Now, and I'm saying that because I am a person that, yes, I'm very independent. I've been like that for so many years. I was raised to be a independent woman. But at the same time, now I'm realizing my mom did instill in me that you need to learn to open your mouth and ask for help. It is nothing wrong with asking for help. It is nothing wrong with being vulnerable. It's nothing wrong with that. And look at me, I'm being vulnerable right now because this is a time that I'm really being challenged and pushed to ask for help. And I asked someone that, I was like, what does that look like? Asking for help. Somebody who's so used to figuring it out on their own. Someone who's so used to like, okay, I'm gonna lean on God. I'm gonna listen to Him. I'm gonna, whatever that looks like. But to physically go to a person and be like, I need help. I don't know how to navigate through these feelings or navigate through this physical challenge that I'm going through. How do I ask for help? And of course, you'll get the people, oh my God, it's funny and I love it. And you'll get the people that's like, well, just ask. I wish I could get closer to the camera because I'm like, just ask. I'm glad it's so simple for you to just ask. God bless you. I'm glad that you are so comfortable with asking for help. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. But a person like myself, how do you do that? And that's not, and again, I'm in therapy for that because I have to get out this headspace of being so controlling and try to control the narrative for my own life. And that's not my job to control the narrative. Granted, we are supposed to, for a certain aspect, control it. But for me, God is the author of my story. God is the author of my story, but He just entrusted me to follow Him and listen to Him. And let not the world's voice be louder than what He's saying. So it's a thing of, it's just such a back and forth. So I asked that question, like, what does that look like? I truly would love someone to share, like, if you ever experienced that, if you ever had that feeling of like, I can't ask for help, it feels awkward to ask for help. You feel that you are less than when you're asking for help. You feel like you are defeated when you ask for help, that you're weak. Because here's the thing, it's so instilled, especially in my upbringing. And again, that is probably not the same experience for even people in my family because I have siblings and stuff like that. I don't ask for help. I honestly, it sounds crazy, right? I find joy in paying a bill, knowing I'm probably broke until the next paycheck or whatever, but I know my house is taken care of, and I'm okay with that. But now I'm starting to realize it's not okay. It's okay. Yes, celebrate that, but deep down, it's not okay to feel like I don't have this, but at least all this is taken care of. I work to pay bills, but at least that's taken care of, but I still can't fully live life like I want to because I'm tied to this one thing. So I'm learning different ways on how to look at money differently, how to not let myself be so attached and be so afraid and fearful of not having it. When I don't have it, I need to open my mouth. If I really am in a situation that I need something, I need to open my mouth and ask. Because if I can be honest, another fear of mine is hearing no. Or someone holding whatever they've done for you against you. Because I'm the type of person, whenever I do for someone, my thing is this: when I got it, you got it. And that's my MO. That's my MO for life. Whoever's connected to me. I am a loyal person. I look out for people. I am a giver. And a lot of times I gave so much and it hurt myself. And again, that's a whole different topic for another day. But I'm such a giver. And when someone gives to me, I always feel like I owe you. I owe, like, what do I owe you? And now it's in my brain, like, I gotta pay this person back. I gotta do something. And it's a lot. But the thing is, when I really, people will know, true people, that's the thing. You will know, because I had people, like, ask for money, right? I had a situation, a friend of mine's, I guess she's a friend or associate, whatever. Some a person that I really care about her. She asked me for money. She's like, I had no gas in my car. I need money and blah, blah, blah. I said, okay, got you, girl. At that time, I didn't even have it. I still needed, my commute to work every day is 40-something minutes every day. Gas is gassing in Jersey, and it's just me and my household. So that's just enough said. Now, it blessed my heart when I could do something for who probably, I do something for somebody who's in a worse situation than you are. Because I feel like when you give from the heart, God honors that and he will pour it back into you, sometimes tenfold. So I gave to her. And I knew it was from the heart. I'm like, I know I ain't really have it. You got it, boo. You got it. But then, this is where the abuse comes in. And this is the people that are so concerned with taking from you that they don't care about how much it's hurting you. They don't care. They don't care because you're satisfying their temporary craving or temporary feeling of whatever that may look like. So I had this person, she, a couple of days later or the following week, she asked me for $20 more. I was like, okay. And again, I actually knew her personal situation. So I'm like, I'm not quick to judge and try to say, oh, she's not using that money for that thing. But at the same time, I'm like, she sounds like she's using that money for that thing. Because I'm like, all right, now I feel like you're abusing the giver. You're abusing the giver because they gave from the bottom of their heart, now you think they're ATM. No, I shut that down real quick. Because I'm like, okay, if you hurt for $20 every week, all right, we got something deeper going on. Something deeper is happening. So we got to explore that. Now, I'm not going to, if it's from the heart, I'm not going to deny it. But again, you got to be open-minded. You can't be such a giver that you're blinded by BS. A lot of times, BS will blind you. So just be really and truly open to that. And I just also want to touch on just when you're talking about being in meditation and being in silence, that whatever you put into your mind, whatever words that resonate into your mind, it's going to translate to the heart. And your heart is going to speak. It's going to come out your mouth. So whatever the heart feels, the mouth speaks, right? So when you're sitting in a space of meditation, when you're sitting in a space of, silence, you got to be sensitive to whatever's around you. So say, for instance, when I'm in meditation, now, a lot of times when I do go in meditation, I'm probably going in that space to speak to God, because I'm like, okay, God, I need some clarity. I need something. Or I'm trying to manage my anxiety. So I deal with anxiety. And I have been actually trained to teach yoga for anxiety. So if you're a person that deals with and suffers from anxiety, well, first of all, let's change our vocabulary, because I don't suffer. We're not suffering from anxiety. Anxiety does not have us. We don't suffer. So I learned how to manage my anxiety, but it doesn't have me, right? So when I feel those feelings of overthinking, those old feelings of being defeated and anxiety, or sometimes you probably feel like a panic attack is coming, that's when you go into meditation. That's when you need to run to meditation, because now you got to be sensitive. Okay, all right, so let me first, so how does that look? Okay, because people are like, oh my God, meditation looks so boring. It doesn't have to be, because the thing is, you're just sitting and resting with yourself, You're resting, being still. We don't know how to be still a lot of times. We don't know how to make our brain be still, because that's all you're doing. You're stilling the brain. You're stilling the crown chakra, right? Because here, our central system is communicating to the rest of the parts of our physical body and our internal organs. So when you're sitting in meditation, you're shutting everything down. So the way I do it, so I have a space. It's a nice clear space, and I'm really also, so colors matter. It's a lot of stuff. So you don't want, when you're in meditation, you want a clear space. You don't want to be in a space of chaos. You don't want to be in a space of clutter. You don't want to be in a space, it just should be in a clean space. So the room I'm in is nice white room. There's not a lot going on in here and happening. And sometimes I'll put on some music. It depends also what mood I'm in. I'll put on soft music, soft jazz music. I'll put on some Janae Aiko, some Landrell, or some Cleo Soul, something. I love some neo soul music, and I just sit. I'll put on some gospel. It depends. It depends what mood I'm in, because I'm setting the atmosphere. I'll light a candle. I'll have some tea, whatever that's going to help you get your mind relaxed, your body relaxed, in order to hear yourself, and in order to hear from God, or whatever you use as your guidance source, right? So that's meditation. And then what you can do also, like I have words of affirmation. So in my room, I'm a post-it girl. Like I love posters, right? I got posters everywhere that said probably quotes from people done shared with me, affirmate words of affirmation, scripture, whatever that looks like. Post-its. I'm a firm believer. If you are a person that you love affirmations, you love being encouraged and things like that, one way to encourage yourself and to meditate on the word, have post-its. Get some post-its. Right. Stick them. I stick them all over. I stick post-its all over, because I need those daily reminders. I got a post-it I'm staring at right now that just says, don't make an excuse, make time. And that's what I'm doing now. I'm off of work. Today is Columbus Day. I mean, only Christopher we celebrate in this culture is who? Wallace. Thank you very much. I don't acknowledge Christopher Columbus. But anyway, in this time that I am being sat down, I feel like right now I'm being sat down by God. I am using this space wisely, this time wisely. I can't make an excuse that I don't have the time to record a video, record content. I've been having like this podcast resonate in my spirit probably for well over a year and some change. And I actually wrote it down. I wanted to call it Taking Up Space. And I just never did it. So now that's why I'm doing this right now, because this is a push. This is one of these things that's like, okay, girl, stop making excuses. You got to make time for things that you want to do. So anytime you have in a day, so with activity, prime example, people be like, I don't have time to go to the gym. I don't have time to do yoga. But in that time, you're probably sitting on social media, you're probably watching TV, watching whatever you may be doing that's probably not taking so much of your energy. You could use that time, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour. What are you doing for that day? That time, that 30 minutes to an hour. You could be doing yoga. You could be doing meditating. You could be spending time with self, truly spending time with yourself. And that's the thing, we don't want to. A lot of us don't want to, but you need to. That is such a necessity to come back to self. Forget about the world. Forget about what's going on around you in your life. Like we all know life is life. Life is life. Life is life, and life is ghetto. It is ghetto here on earth. But here's the thing. I want to be so grounded with self. I want to dive so much deeper into myself, so when life do life, I know how to navigate through that. Granted, now I say, you're going to go through those feelings and emotions of frustration. You're going to go through the happy and the joys and the this and the that. All of these emotions that make that, come to us. But here's the thing. We need the tools to navigate through that. And a lot of us don't have it. A lot of us don't know how to navigate through those feelings. So our outlets look, sometimes, all right, prime example. I love playing Sims. I love my Sims game. If I'm not doing nothing, I'm playing Sims. And I'm getting lost in that virtual reality simulation of what my life's supposed to be. That's my outlet. So that's one of the things. And that's cool. Whatever you use as your outlet, do that. But you need to incorporate spending time with self. There are times, prime example, this morning I got out of bed, I was staring like at the TV, watching TV. I'm like, okay, I gotta record this, I gotta do this, I do that. But I was just sitting, and I'm like, you know what? I turned everything off after I took a shower, got myself together, and I just sat there with myself for 15 minutes. And I just sat and talked to God, and I'm just spending time with self, because again, it just goes so much deeper, and it's feelings, it's thoughts that we're put in our back of our mind that we're not thinking about, or we forgot about, and we're not trying to revisit that, because when we spend time with self, that stuff's gonna come up, and that stuff you have to face. And we don't want to take accountability for certain of the thoughts and feelings that come up. We don't want to take accountability for it, because why should we, right? Ain't nobody else holding us accountable, so why should I hold myself accountable? But that's the strength of being you. That's the power of self, that we are able not to wait for somebody to hold us accountable for something when we can hold ourselves accountable. And it's okay. It's okay to be like, girl, you wrong. Boy, you wrong. Those thoughts and that feeling, the way you reacted, that was wrong. You shouldn't have did that. You shouldn't have made that decision. That was wrong. You made that temporary feeling because whatever, X, Y, and Z, whatever, right? So just learn to incorporate with spending time with self. It's so beautiful. It's ugly. Again, and that's why I say, like, I am sick of me a lot of times. And it's funny that I say that. So I wanted to introduce, before we go, and again, this was cool. So this, if you made it this far into my video, thank you so much. It's going to be more coming. I'm really going to be consistent with this, because again, I am really intentional about women that look like me to hold space and take up space, because it's enough space in this world. The world is not so saturated that there's no room for you. There's no room for you to grow. The world is not saturated enough that you feel like you can't share the space. You can't share your space with the next person, and she may not look like you. He may not look like you. He may not be able to relate to the things and feelings or whatever you go through. But again, hold space for not only yourself, but for others that could resonate what you're feeling, what you're going through. They may not look like you, but they want to learn what you know what I'm saying? They want to understand you. So hold space, and that's what I'm so intentional about. I really am. So I wrote a book. I wrote a memoir, and I'm going to talk about it in my next video. I'm going to really dive deep into it. And the series Taking Up Space is actually going to be based on the chapters of my book, Tears I Should Have Cried, a memoir on holding space for healing. Now, this book, I wrote this book. It was released back in August. This was such, oh my God, a birth. This, for 2023, if I could say that my biggest accomplishment for 2023 was this thing, because I didn't think this would happen. I didn't think, it's so many underlying stories behind my book. And I'm going to share it because it's really emotional. It's really, 2023, I really had to do the work of healing past trauma, and I didn't think I had trauma in my life. I really thought a lot, like, and I learned this from therapy. A lot of times I was like, trauma? I ain't going through no trauma. I mean, I had somebody pick on me or whatever, but I didn't really face no real trauma. And then when I realized, when I started writing the book, started the process, I'm like, oh shit, I really do. I really got stuff I need to deal with. I really, and it was ugly. And it was points that I didn't like myself. I was really going through it. I really went through it. But I am so appreciative about this book because it's just, it's a story about me in my past, the past several years of my healing process. But I realized my story is not for me. This wasn't for me. The feedback I've been getting from this book has been crazy. But here's the thing, I'm just really intentional about now sharing my story because it's not for me. It's healing for me to know that my story impacted one person to start their own healing journey or to revise how their healing journey looks, to get out this thought process of, okay, so healing is going to spas and spending money on myself and just taking care of myself in the physical part. Yeah, that's cute. That's part of healing and the self-care or whatever. But you got to dive deeper. What's that heart saying? What's your mind saying? What is your spirit speaking? You know what I'm saying? So what does it look like when you walk in the room? Does your energy shift the room? Okay, energy shift in the room. How? Why? It's the certain questions we don't ask ourselves during the healing process because we're trying to ignore it, or we think like it's nothing wrong. Like, no, we're not doing nothing wrong when you probably are. You know what I'm saying? So this is my book talks about, and I'm going to be taking up space. Is going to be based on different chapters in the book. And I actually started talking about it today, that because I have a chapter in here called I Am Sick of Me. Whoo, child. So we're going to get into that. But I just wanted to introduce this new series, Taking Up Space. I want you guys to subscribe to my channel because not only I'm going to be sharing this series, Taking Up Space, I'm going to still be incorporating yoga tutorials. We're going to have live sessions together. I would love a cool Q&A. I would love to like start building up this community and just have people from all walks of life just dump into this space, because this space is for you. This space is for you to be vulnerable. If you feel like, my boyfriend pissed me off and I want to curse him the F out, this is your space, my dear. This is your space, boo. Now, after you got out those feelings and everything else, got everything out, now I'm going to give you the tools how to manage it, how to go through it, how to work through those feelings and emotions. I'm going to give you, and also you will get to spend time with me to know that I am human. I still go through those feelings and emotions and all of that stuff because we're human. We're just trying to live out this human experience, and I just want people to dive in deeper into self and just know we're just here temporarily and we're just here to live out a human experience. That's all. So thank you so much. This is the first episode, I guess you could call it, of Taking Up Space with me, Takima, of Fitvational Yoga. Again, like, subscribe, leave comments. I'm open to comments and feedback because, again, I'm still trying to get this content creating thing going, and it's a lot, and it's a lot of work. So kudos to all the content creators. And yeah, I've really much right now just stepped out on faith. I stepped out on just truly believing into myself, listening to what God's telling me to do, and I'm just gonna make it do what it do. So thank you so much for watching. Until next time, guys. Love and light, peace and blessings.